Welcome everyone to another market open. We have the opening bell in 55 seconds, and today is starting out to be greener than what we had yesterday. But I think the big question today is what's going to happen over the next few weeks? Are we going to see the same junk that we saw last week, where we had this really tenuous market? It was really difficult to trade. The market was, okay, we'll go up a little bit and then we'll kind of fall back down. It was a really kind of nervous market last week. We're going to see more of that continue this week, or are we going to actually see a market that just starts booming again? Jerome Powell testifies again before Congress today, so it'll be entertaining to catch up on. We'll look at the sticks in just a moment, but let's go ahead and start by listening to the opening bell, which is right now.
They're clapping for my virgin olive oil, and I don't
keep asking. I mean, this is it. That's
right. That's all. It's all for Jim's oil. There's the opening bell. And the NYSE and the NASDAQ. Jim, I did want to ask you about the mall really quick because Cowan does upgrade American Eagle today.
There we go. All right. Yeah, American Eagle. Wow, lots of upgrades, no doubt, possible in the recovery sector. That's the one place that just felt really, really safe during the last few days and the sell-off that we've seen. Let's take a look at the market open now. So I'm actually impressed. Right now, it looks like Upwork is maintaining its gain. It's actually having a time. We'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess, in the first minute before we say. But I mean, Upwork was up 18 to 24% in the aftermarket hours yesterday. Just smashed earnings. Really, really good job. We got Microvision coming back. We actually got CLI moving today, which is one of the first times I've seen this one move a good chunk here, 5%. Fisker rallying out of nowhere at 18% up today. I've actually day traded this one before profitably, which was nice. BNGO, OGI, that was another good day trade. But let's see if we can find something today. So not a lot of high flyers, at least on our list right now. We'll have to go hunting for a little bit. So if you've got one, feel free to post one. EXPI today, 3.7%. Slight rebounds here. Obviously, we had much larger sell-offs yesterday. Shift Technologies, 950. Let's see, Open Door Tech, 2%. A lot of 2% today. Almost everything sitting around 2% up. Let's go look at Tesla really quick. Tesla up 1.6%. Actually giving up some of the gains it had pre-market. Kind of makes us wonder, okay, are we going to see... Yeah, look at this. Even Churchill was up like positive 2%, 2 to 3% in the pre-market. And then right here, as the market is opening, we're getting a little bit of that sell-off right around 35. A lot of resistance right below that 40 figure. It looks like we're getting some red candlesticks here at Churchill. Some larger sell orders may be coming through at Churchill. So some pain possible here at CCV, or that could be temporary, and we might see that bounce back. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Square actually softening its losses a little bit, dropping 5%, now down around 4.7%. We'll watch these red candlesticks here on Churchill to see if these are going to be accelerating here. Interestingly, when we start getting some red candles, usually we get a nice, that V that usually starts forming as people's limit orders really start executing, or their stop losses start executing rather. Let's see. Then we've got Enphase. Enphase down a little bit today. Enphase actually ended up slightly up yesterday. But it's definitely been beat down over just this last week. So very, very bizarre market. Let's keep an eye here on these red sticks here on CCIV. 30 under 35 is a nibble spot for me. Buy a little bit. Under 30 is more of a buy heavy. But looks like we got a little bit of counter action happening here. So keep an eye on this. We got Peloton selling off a tiny little bit, along with Pinterest. Cloudflare down a little bit. Almost kind of almost it feels a little bit like a shell-shocked market where the market's kind of like, wow, yesterday was so painful. We don't know what to do today. Yeah, we've got ZOM up 15%, but now that's red candle sticking as well. This is really such a nervous market. Now we get EBEX coming back a little bit from what it lost yesterday. It's such a nervous market right now. It's really tough to say, oh yeah, with certainty, let's swing trade something. We've got that's a nice build up here on Upwork. We'll see how this develops. I mean, Upwork was really good They really crushed earnings yesterday. Now we've actually got decent volume here, and it looks like we've got people moving in on Upwork. Upwork is a stock I might add to here. It's always tough to add when they're up 20%, but now that's going to 24%. It'll be interesting. Let's see if this has the potential of running or if this is going to sell off. I think it's too early to tell on this one, so we'll keep an eye on this one. Zom trying to push higher rather here. We'll see what happens. Fisker just gave up a little bit at the opening bell here. See, like no consistency today. GameStop, okay, here we go. GameStop coming out. GameStop wants to rally again. GameStop's just been the up and down here. So is AMC. Where is AMC today? Let's pull it. Let's look at Riot as well. It's a good one. Yeah, AMC right now down about 6% on the open. We've got Riot up about 12%. Also, red candle sticking right now. Let's see. When did Riot move? Was it just sort of in the middle of the night? Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so sort of right when pre-market opened up around 4 a.m. Eastern time, we got that nice boost over here. Yeah, interesting. Oh, yeah, just overall, so volatile right now. When do I think Lemonade is a buy? It's a good question. Lemonade is one that I really haven't been adding to in the 100s, honestly. It's one that I hold. I've taken a little bit of profits only just to reduce margin on it when it's around 150, 160. But no, Lemonade's more of a hold for me. I haven't been really adding to that one. Golly. Okay, so Upwork. Let's zoom in again here. Yeah, Upwork. Nice big candlestick here that was green, but had a couple reds follow it. So seems to be stable around that 20%. Not sure I want to chase that one. 20% up. Oshkosh obviously got the USPS contract over Workhorse. I imagine if Workhorse actually got the contract, Workhorse would have really gone flying. Let's listen to this for a moment here. What is this? Flying taxi company, Joby.
And then you look at a prospectus, and you're not even allowed to talk about 2026. The SEC's got to do something about this, but they don't know what to do. What was that face you making?
No, I was saying hello and
David,
saying yes to Chip, our producer.
David, it's all about me.
I wasn't listening
to you.
About wow, what a great clip there. Let's go jump on over. So Joby announces, but this has been announced before. Announces a $5.7 billion SPAC deal. Let's take a look at this. So what do we got here? Joby Aviation. A lot of these eVTOL companies SPACing here. Gosh, I can't help but think the back here actually looks like a traditional plane, and the back part of the plane has just been turned upside. I wonder how loud these things are, and how much of a future we could really have with these guys. I mean, I think it'd be great if all of us had one in the backyard, but I don't know. Part of me thinks we're probably a decade away from this. And I know there are others who are more enthusiastic. I interviewed Sandy Monroe, and he was pretty enthusiastic that robo-taxis were actually the pit stop, and that eVTOLs or the next frontier. That's where the big profits come in, so to speak. Who knows? It'll be it could entirely be possible that this happens much sooner. We were looking into ACIC. We've looked into some of these others here as well. Volocopter, the other major German eVTOL, is also said to be in talks to go public via reverse merger. Everyone's SPACing to get their money. It's great. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the sticks here, and we'll see what comments are. Yes, it's such a fluid market. It's so bizarre. Yeah, look at this. Even Upwork now red candling a little bit. Oh, Mara's coming up though. Here we go. No, never mind. It must have opened. It was under recently viewed, and that's giving up its gains too. Are we gonna be turning red again here? Because look at this. We got red on the top three over here. MicroStrategy also got a red. Oh wow, nice gap here all of a sudden too. A little bit of a faster fall here. Let's see. Are we going? Are we going on the same path again? Square just lost another 2%. Now it's down 7%. Tesla's going down. Jeez, man, what is this? What this is? I'm telling you, this is why I didn't open any trades, and this is why the last week and a half has been frustrating on anything that I mean, unless you're shorting, or you just perfectly time the buy up, which yesterday, I have to say, we made some buys right at the bottom of that V with Tesla. That was pretty cool. Yeah, but hey, I mean, I look back, I'm like, I should have bought more, but that's how everybody feels in hindsight. Everybody's an expert in hindsight. Sometimes and this is like the most toxic thing ever when people think like this. But sometimes people are like, I'll see these comments. They're like, oh, wow, you didn't take profit when CCIV was at 60. You're an idiot. And it's like, and you have a written strategy that says I'm holding this and it's a long hold. Then I don't need to take profits and immediately give the government 55% of my money. But look at Overstock. Yeah, I feel like, is anything not red candle sticking down right now? Okay, we got Atlas, red candle sticking down. Okay, Intuit's coming up a little bit. Okay, so a little bit of a fall here in the first 5 minutes. Okay, now we're getting a slight little bit of a recovery. So maybe we're not going to see like a large fall again today, which would be nice. Be nice to actually see some consistency again. But we'll see here. Okay, all right. So maybe the red candles there were just a temporary thing. Whew. Jeez, after yesterday, I think everybody's just on edge. CCIV right now trying to still down 1%, trying to turn green after that profit taking there at the beginning. Gore's holding. That's the Matterport SPAC. Obviously, it's slightly under 20 here, but still up from our buy points from our entry price here, but definitely not as high as it was after CNBC pushed him hard last week. Which that's usually when I'm like, oh, that's it. We're gonna hit the peak once CNBC mentions them. And that's not to bag on CNBC. I like CNBC. But Redfin, knocking on the door of $90. We've got earnings coming from Redfin today. Today should be a big day. We've got Matterport at 2 p.m., or the CEO, that is, and Redfin at probably 5 minutes after 1 p.m., so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's go pull up the Bloomberg terminal as well, and let's listen to what they're saying here about the Fed and treasuries.
It doesn't stop there. You look at the sovereign paper across the globe. Look at what's going on in 10-year gilts, hovering around 80 basis points. And by the way, 10 years here are a little over right around a 1-year high-ish. It's February. We're going to January, but we comped even further back for 30s, 8-month high yields and boons and gilts. And finally, real quick, 10s minus 2s now, the steepest at 130 basis points in Christmas of 2016. Carl, Jim, David, back to you.
All right, Rick, thanks. Of course, Powell's.
What's interesting is, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but in 2019, for a very long time, I did what I called the Meet Kevin report, and it was really just like talking about the news and the stock market on a pretty regular basis. But before it became, before the pandemic, and in that Meet Kevin report, I remember being in Park City, and we were talking about the inversion of the yield curve, how the 2-year was more expensive than the 2 and 10. They crossed paths. The 2 was more expensive than the 10, and it was so weird because people were using that as a gauge for, oh my gosh, there has to be a market crash now within 18 months. Like, nobody could have predicted that the pandemic was going to happen, but it's so weird to think that when that inversion happened, we actually did get a crash within a year of that. So bizarre. But now they're talking about the 10 and 2 having the steepest separation ever, which it technically is a pretty bullish indicator that that people think the economy is going to be doing better in the long run. So it's just put a new Chamath tweet. What does Chamath have to say? Let's go see what Chamath has to say. I tweeted him yesterday too. I don't think he replied to me though. Probably not, especially since I was kind of being fun. Well, how should I say it? I don't know what I should say. You determine. Here, what did I tweet him yesterday? I think he was tweeting about here. Tweets and replies yesterday. Oh yeah. Here, Chamath tweets, was losing $1 billion at one point today, but got diamond hands and shooters shoot. So ... whatever. And then I reply, screenshot or it didn't happen. Just, God, I'm terrible. Okay, maybe bad joke. I don't know. Okay, let's go in here and let's see what this new tweet is today. So let's see here. Latest tweets. Okay, new ETF here. Merger with RAAC. Proud to bring Berkshire Grey public. What's that? Berkshire Grey. Amazing company building robots, AI, and software that are automate warehouses for Walmart. Well, I think people are going to plow into RAAC instantly and RMGB solely because they're Chamath SPACs. That's pretty common. Excited to do a new pipe in Renew Power as they merge with RMGB. All right, we'll see. They're probably well up already. Usually the Chamath SPACs jump right away. RMGB is it's only up 2% right now. This is a new pipe. Renew is India's largest clean energy company with scale in solar and wind. Play a huge role. I mean, like if you want to blindly chase Chamath, you could totally throw a little bit of money into his SPACs. RAAC. What do we got here? So RAAC, of course, the American one is the one that's pumping more than the Indian one. The home bias at play with a 16% move here, but not a lot of that move happened now. So Chamath must have leaked sometime earlier. See, this thing went from like par value around $11 here, and jumped up to $15. But even if you bought right at his announcement, you would have bought at $15.78, and now you'd be at $12. $12.62. So it's just the sign of the market right now. It's just the sign of the market. It's so blog. It's gross. Ugh. What's let's see, Square down almost 8%. Peloton down 3.7%. I mean, almost no major blood right here. But look at this. Lowe's, Home Depot down today. Bitcoin still under 50. Hyliion, Dropbox, Redfin, Macy's. I mean, some of these were doing really well yesterday, and they're giving it up today. Affirm. Oh my gosh, Affirm. Isn't Affirm at their IPO pricing now? Let's look at this. Let's look at Affirm. We'll go to the hour. Let's see. Oh, okay. So a first trade on the IPO was $90. Hey, Kevin, need your help. My tax return was accepted on the 12th, and I received my refund 2 days ago through direct deposit, but my refund status is still to be received and reviewed. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean, I hate for you to spend $50 to ask me that question. I'm not a CPA and don't work with the IRS, but usually my rule of thumb with the government is A, try not to take a tax refund because you're giving the government a tax-free loan, and B, you're kind of stuck waiting for the government, man. It sucks. It totally sucks. Look at this. So Upwork was up substantially. I mean, we ran up right at the opening to like 24%. And I'm looking at this like, I don't know, let's wait. Let's see if we can get some support. Now the thing's only up 14%. It's like this is the kind of market where if you wanted to just like do some day trades, it can get a little frustrating. Yeah, really frustrating. You got OGI running up a little bit again. That's nice. Zom, but then again, Zom, has also had a rough opening here. EBIX slowly coming back. Slowly, it's 6-7% up. This doesn't hold a candle to what happened yesterday. Canoe. Oh, Canoe. Wow, Canoe's actually really cheap right now. So Canoe, that thing had been trading for like $15, $16 sideways for months. It's at $13.77 right now. This could be the kind of market where you start looking for things that are just oversold from yesterday still. So, we look over, look at this chart here on Canoe, for example. This chart takes us all the way back to, it takes us to January. Let's go to the day chart here. There we go. Yeah, look at the day chart on Canoe right here. And we're still at some of the lowest peaks here at Canoe. And this is before the SPAC. So the SPAC gets announced, the thing jumps to like $12, $13. That's kind of where we are now. Canoe's that automotive company. You should check out their website too. It's worth looking at. Like if you go to canoe.com, I think this is like at least the graphics and the marketing of it really cool. You know, they were on Jay Leno's garage with their prototype, and we know we've heard this many times before, especially from Elon. Anybody can make a prototype, but I don't know. It's an interesting vehicle to keep an eye on. So we'll see. I just think it is crazy though. There's so much excitement going towards these electric vehicles in the commercial space and electrifying the United States vehicle fleets. And then what happens yesterday? I mean, look at what they did with Oshkosh. This was so dumb in my opinion. USPS car. You should see the pictures of it if you haven't yet. It's okay. I mean, it kind of looks like a little bit like a loafer, like the front of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean, but I don't know. That's what I see. But the point is, like, the darn thing is going to be like either electric or gas. And so as Oshkosh produces these vehicles for the government, I kind of feel like the government is throwing in the towel and just, we'll just go with hybrids, or we'll just go with something that's like really fuel efficient, something that gets us like 40 mpgs or whatever. But no, we're not going to go full battery yet. That won't have enough range or this, that, or whatever. The fact that Workhorse didn't get the contract, honestly, it's a little bit of a slam on the entire EV industry. It kind of sends a bad signal to the whole, oh yeah, we're going to electrify all school buses. Okay, yeah, Biden might be saying that, but the people who are actually pulling the trigger on purchasing, one of the first big purchase contracts under the Biden administration for new vehicles went to a company that's like, yeah, we'll make some battery electric vehicles, but we'll also make fuel efficient gas vehicles. I don't know. To me, that's just like a slap in the face to the whole theory of, let's electrify everything. Obviously that's why Workhorse got destroyed. And that happens when a deal that's like, oh, it's for sure we're going to be Workhorse, and then it falls apart. That's again the government for us. Just okay. Somebody says that CCIV is doing a bullish reversal. I love all the names. Like it's either green sticks or it's red sticks. Okay. I mean, I like it. Let's see what's going on. I don't know, man. I don't see it. Like I want to see it, but those are too small for me to call anything here. This is so tenuous right now. This could come down, and we could knock on the door of a 33 here, and I don't even think I can get down to 33. No, I can't. It wouldn't shock me. Here, we'll draw a little line here, and I don't want it to go there, but it wouldn't shock me for us to break down, just with the way it's trading right now. Yeah, Overstock.com. What happened at Overstock? Let's see. Let's pull the terminal and see what's going on at Overstock. Let's see. Overstock. We do have Jerome talking in 8 minutes. So we'll see what he has to say as well. Okay. Come on, Bloomberg terminal. It's just not that hard. You can type in Overstock and you could go to the actual tick. There we go. Good. Individual company. Let's see what's going on with Overstock. Overstock's fourth quarter revenue surges as COVID-19 pandemic drives online shopping, yet it's selling off. Oh, it just reported. Oh, they reported pre-market. Let's see what else. Here we go. It's easier to read like this. Okay, here we go. EPS came in at 26 cents. This actually reported a bit ago here, but that's why it's selling off right now. Revenue came in at 684. Stock falls 13% after reporting Q4 results. EPS beats by 6%, 6 cents beats on revenue. It probably just wasn't enough of a beat, and people are looking at it as maybe a COVID play. That's like the worst right now. If you get labeled a COVID play and COVID cases are plummeting, that's when you get screwed right now as a stock. Like it or not, that's what's happening here. Look, I mean, we're on a negative 37% trend on the 14-day average. Deaths down 23%. I mean, this is very, very good. We want to see that. Hotspots over here. The United States still a hotspot with some parts of South America. Oh, I like how they take my IP address. Very high risk level where I am. I wonder if everything's a very high risk level. I don't know. But anyway, this NewYorkTimes.com if you want to see it. Biden doesn't shy from early agenda. All right. And we're still waiting to get some actual updates here with the stimulus. It's crazy how kind of slow they're being. But anyway, Jerome's speaking in about 6 minutes, so we'll pop in on that. Maybe today we'll hear from the Senate parliamentarian as to what the heck is going to happen there. Let's go to top news here, and then let's go back to the sticks. We got to find some opportunities. Somebody says they're printing attendees with SNSS. I'll take a look at that. SNSS. So I'm just going to write that down here, and then I'll circle back to that. U.S. stock slump as yields surge on reflation bet. Roaring reflation forces HSBC, BlackRock, and AXA to drop bond bets. Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine found effective. Another reason the COVID play might get hit. Oh, look at this. Cathie Wood Fund under pressure amid record outflow. I mean, this is... Investors pulled $465 million from ARK K in one day, data shows. Man, it's just... All right, I'm going to say it. It's stupid. It's stupid. This literally means... Jeez, man. This is not at all Cathie Wood getting shorted. Look, what this is people freaking out yesterday because, oh my gosh, stocks had a red day, and people go to their accounts, and that's it. I'm selling ARK. Because see, you don't actually have to call Cathie Wood to sell ARK. You just go to it's an exchange traded fund, which just basically means you literally go, that's it, ARK K, swipe up, sell, and you're out. But wow, I mean, 465 million pulled in a day. I mean, they've had some pretty fat inflows, and that's like a drop in the bucket. I'm sure they'll get some inflows again today. But wow. Yeah, no, there's a lot. Worst 2-day drop since September. Investors withdrew 465 from the product on Monday. They also took 202 from ARK G and 119 from ARK W. The outflows came as some of ARK's investment, most high-profile bets like Tesla and Bitcoin floundered. Well, I mean, they're still doing very, very well. Yeah. All right, let's go to the sticks. Well, let's see. Tiger Woods came back. I heard the guy had like screws in his feet and ankles. Like that can't be good for trying to play golf. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you got to have some solid balance when you're playing golf, and it's like I know some people who maybe don't play golf, and I'm like a total novice, but footwork has a lot to do with it. At least what I found when I was trying. But then again, I've also been locked in this room for a year, so maybe things have changed. German economy robust at the end of 2020, but near term looking weak. Romney says Trump would win 2024 GOP nomination if he runs. Wow. That's a big statement from Romney. That's big. Because Romney doesn't really like Trump. He voted to impeach him. And he's now saying that maybe Trump would clinch the 2024 nom from the Republican Party. That's interesting. Wow. Look at this. See, I don't know, man. Just what a bizarre freaking market. How do you trade this? It just gets worse and worse. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, still bouncing around this support level here at 34. I kind of drew a facetious line over here just because I'm being too bitter about the market right now. I don't know. It's just frustrating. Let's go to all stocks here. Okay, Square, trying to green candle up, but no. Piton, Silver Spike. Well, Piton's going to be under 120 here soon. If Peloton gets under 100, which it might, certainly under 80, like those are some really juicy prices. I'd look into that a little heavier. Somebody says, do you think Janet Yellen will really push for a capital gains tax on unrealized capital gains, or is she just putting out feelers? I think that's like next to impossible. It's so difficult. I think that's a mess. I don't think we'll see taxes on unrealized gains. That would really just screw up how everyone's been investing. I think their talk about removing the stepped up tax basis is toxic. But who knows? That could be the target here during the Biden admin. Biden's talked about that too. Michael, $100. Geez, man. Thank you. Any thoughts on HEC, which is taking Talkspace public? I thought that said taking Talkspace public. Good growth team, seems like a less than 7% downside and unlimited upside. And let's take a look at it. So let's look in the Bloomberg terminal here. Does anybody else know about this thing? HEC. Let's see what we got. So HEC is the Hudson SPAC here. Let's see, security description. Let's see what we can learn here. Operates a blank check company. The company aims to acquire one or more business assets. Okay, well, this doesn't really tell us anything. It's at 1071, so it's barely above premium, or barely above pipe, I should say. So Talkspace. Well, what is Talkspace? For me, I feel like I have to understand the underlying company. Oh, is this going to be in, let's see, feeling better starts with a single message. This is in the health space, huh? We accept insurance. Talkspace for government. Michael Phelps, son, Demi Lovato. Pick your therapist. Oh, it's for therapy. Oh, interesting. It's like a therapy platform. But what's the difference between this and just like a Zoom? I mean, forgive me for asking, but that's what I have to know to be able to invest in this. Okay. I mean, fundamental health support. Maybe they connect with insurance companies, but yeah, it feels a little niche. And one of the issues that sometimes I have with these is, let's listen to this for a second.
Yeah, new home sales, maybe one of the hottest sectors that was least affected, actually enhanced in many ways by COVID. Well, up over 4% to 923,000 seasonally adjusted annualized units. Now that is better than expected and sees a very nice positive revision. Very nice. From 842,000 originally December final, now jumps up to 885,000. And just to give folks an idea, this is the one sector that pre-COVID, the numbers were smaller.
Some big old new home sales there. I mean, these are some big numbers. Real estate just keeps killing it. I mean, somebody's got a point here. Jason has got a point. It seems like a little bit of a COVID play. Totally true. Maybe somebody who uses this, HIPAA compliant. That's why. Okay, that's interesting. A HIPAA. Okay, yeah. That's how they're gonna have, maybe an edge. But I would look into this and I would go, what would it take for Zoom or Google Spaces or whatever, or the Microsoft version? What would it take for them to come up with a HIPAA compliant portion of their website? Like you turn on the HIPAA compliant badge, right? I don't know. Forgive me, but I get tired of all these new apps. And I run out of there's so many apps. I don't know. So we'll see. Is Voyager public? Let's see. I did not know that. VYG VF. Oh wow, Voyager Digital. Is this the Voyager crypto app? It is, right? Yeah, but they're offering no commission fees. Yeah, I'm looking into that. Happy Healer is upset that I'm not answering all questions. Well, this isn't a Q&A live stream. This is me covering the candlesticks and what's going on in the market too. So let's listen to this.
Site pain, headache, fatigue, muscle pain. There were some rare events of hives, very rarely, and one hypersensitivity reaction, but not a case of anaphylaxis, guys. So the next steps are the FDA's outside group of advisors meets Friday all day to discuss all of these data and vote at the end.
Boomer Kevin, all these kids and their apps. Look, don't get me wrong. Okay, I just downloaded every crypto app there is. And it's annoying. I have to sit there with my ID and verify my identity 7 times. Coinbase Pro is a different app from Coinbase. And you get Binance and Voyager. And then there's KuCoin. And there's Crypto.com. And then there's BlockFi, which, by the way, you could get up to $250 by going to betkevin.com/BF. Deposit money and get up to $250 with BlockFi, which is the one that I use because they pay you really fat interest. But then there are others that say they pay interest too. Then there's Gemini. Then there's Robinhood. Then there's the regular Coinbase. I'm working through it. It's just a mess. Oh man. All right. Let's see here. Let's go into let's look at the sticks again. Look at this. I'm sorry. I did not draw this. Oh, here. I did not draw this, and I don't know what it is with the lines, okay? But for some reason, sometimes my lines are magnetic. Holy crap. Like literally as I'm talking about it, it just touched my line. I drew this when we were at like $34, and I'm like, the way the day is going today, I would not be shocked if it hits my line. And I would have drawn it even lower if I could have, but I couldn't because it was like, it didn't let me zoom out. And look at this. Now we're literally breaking this. Like, what is this market? This is a disaster is what this is. I mean, I don't care. Like, I know it's like, oh my gosh, profits are evaporating. Whatever. Let the market do its crap. I'm not gonna sell into this kind of market. When the time to sell is when you're like, okay, this is a trade and there's lots of euphoria. I'll sell. Euphoria comes back all the time. It comes in cycles. But yeah, this is no surprise to me, based on just the way we're opening here. Look at Square. I mean, oh my gosh, that's my cost basis is 232, and here we are. Jeez, man. End face. What? The whole market's doing it again. Just red candlesticking again. Even Apple 122, also red candlesticking down. Not as hard. You'd have got Amazon moving down as well. EXPI is going back to $60. Look at this. What happened? Is Jerome talking again? Minutes away. Jerome to testify. No, yeah, maybe he'll come rescue the market again. What's this? Oh, okay, yeah, this is the SPAC. That's the Chamath SPAC. But I mean, anybody who bought that after the announcement is down right now, down 2 or 3% percentage points. Marathon's I think the only thing that's actually trying to show a consistent uptrend right now. Just a blarg market again. Which, hey, maybe there'll be some buying opportunities. Which, as usual, if there are big buying opportunities throughout the day, I send alerts regularly to course members. If you are a course member, thank you to all those of you who joined yesterday. But yeah, yesterday I think we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then some other commentary as well. Oh no, 8 alerts yesterday and some other commentary. So yesterday I was pretty talkative about buying and not selling yesterday. In the alert section. Sundial's actually trying to make a play here, which is cool. I mean, Sundial, can you believe Sundial wasn't it like $4.80 not that long ago? It's crazy. Just like rocket ship. I hate to say it. I don't think it's going to rocket ship again. If you're down $1, don't worry about it. I'm up on the original Bitcoin I bought, but I'm down on the last Bitcoin I bought. I'm not losing any sleep over it. Don't care. The way to solve all sins is literally on Friday or Thursday or whatever day you get paid. Just go shopping at lower prices. It makes you feel much better. All right. Unless obviously you're retired and you're like, Kevin, I don't got new income coming in, but hopefully you got like Social Security or something coming in. And okay, it's just gonna play around my line now, huh? What is it? I'm telling you, I draw a line and the lines are like magnets, and this is not a recorded video. Like you saw that happen. It's a magnet. Tune into Powell. I don't see Powell yet. I just see moments away Powell. That's what it says here. Let me channel surf a little bit and see, because right now CNBC, for example, just says moments away. House of Representatives, that's where Powell's supposed to be. Maybe they're. See, this is what they got going on right now. Let's see what they're saying.
Allowed, and Planned Parenthood is eligible for PPP loans.
Okay, well, this is the floor, so this is not the committee hearing. The U.S. Senate. Well, Jerome's not going to be in here. Oh my! The Postmaster General is going to testify there. Maybe he could tell us why he gave Oshkosh the contract and not Workhorse. And why is Trump talking?
And Obama, they all sent their well wishes.
Just, I don't see Jerome anywhere. I don't know where he is. Yeah, we'll see. Moments away. Fed chair.
For stimulus and inflation concerns, which are building in the markets, are what does the Federal Reserve do? What does the government do after we're fully recovered? How much will this be a business as usual thing for us to do right now that we know that fiscal policy is so effective at counteracting slump?
Yeah, the thing is, like, we keep talking about, like, oh my gosh, what's Jerome gonna do? What's Jerome gonna do? I don't know how much more clear that guy could be. Like, the guy is literally every day he gets the chance to talk, going, we think there's going to be short-term inflation, but we're not going to do anything about it. Like, he says the same thing every freaking day he talks. And then yet it's like, oh, Jerome's talking tomorrow? Oh gosh, sell all stocks. I wonder what he's going to say. Maybe today's the day he's going to say something different. It is like the stupidest market. It's so annoying. And like, we're going to listen into him. Don't get me wrong. This is not to say we shouldn't listen into him, but just the way the market is behaving before Jerome goes to talk, it just feels irrational. Oh, you know what I wanted to try is I wanted to try if I make my resolution like different here, maybe it'll make Webull bigger. Let's see here. Let's see if I go to, and let's just play with this. What's underscan? I don't know what underscan is. Maybe somebody can tell me what underscan is. Optimize for built-in retina. I hope I don't screw everything up. I wonder if this will end up being better. No, I don't know. Somebody let me know if that looks any better. If this got any, if like the actual little tickers here got a little better. ET is mooning. ET is going to the moon. No, it didn't do anything. Yes, there's coupon code me Kevin posted on. Oh yeah. You get like 38% off if you use code HODL. I don't think that did anything. What if I make the resolution bigger? CCAV is earthing. Looks the same. Okay. I don't know what underscan is. Oh, whoa. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go the other way. We want to zoom in. What if I just go to scale? Larger text. Oh. Hey. Everything's bigger now. Hey, look at that. I'm down for that. I mean, I have like no room right now, is what it feels like, but everything's bigger. I mean, that's cool. I think let's go with that. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Okay, good. Okay, let's now watch. Let's now go look at some fat red candlesticks. 32. Jeez, man. If this thing breaks 30, I'm buying it again. But no, why is zooming harder now? Now I can't zoom in and out. Uh-oh. Okay, it can't be more now. Okay, there we go. Now the zooming's working again. Okay, cool. Should get rid of the touchpad. It's still moments away from Jerome Powell talking. Oh, I like this. Now we got bigger numbers. Oh, good. Okay, Kevin isn't grandma. No. Hey, I'll tell you, it was pretty small before, okay? Like, I was playing, my wife says I can't join your call. Well, hopefully we can make you some money here. I showed Lauren this on my iPhone the other day, and I'm like, look, Lauren, look at yesterday's live stream where everything was down 20%. And I show her the iPhone, and both of us are like, I think I see it. It's pretty bad. So this is good. Okay. Simple changes are the best. Anyway, look at Upwork. Upwork just diving. Just get like nothing here. Just giving up. It was literally up 22% this morning. If you bought Upwork thinking we were going to rally this morning and it was just going to keep going, it would have literally cost you like 12%. It's just because of the stupid market the way it is. CIA director, there's Jerome. All right, let's get Jerome on board. Oh, 4-second ad. This is horrible. You can't have YouTube Premium on this. There we go. Is it this one? No. Uh-oh. Oh, hold on. 1 sec. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go here. There we go. Okay.
Last summer, momentum slowed substantially, with the weakness concentrated in the sectors.
Oh my gosh, he's low.
Affected by the resurgence of the virus. In recent weeks, the number.
Hold on, I can't hear anything. 1 sec. Let's try to fix this.
And ongoing vaccinations offer hope for a return to more normal conditions.
Dude, this guy's so low.
However, the economic recovery remains uneven and far from complete, and the path ahead is highly uncertain.
This is a horrible feed. Let's go to
Household
the
spending
Federal
on
Reserve
services
maybe on
remains
YouTube.
low, especially in
Sometimes
sectors
we
that
have them
typically
there.
require people to gather closely, including leisure and
I don't know. Were you all able to hear him? We can't hear. Yeah, I couldn't hear him. It was way too low. Let's go Federal Reserve. Oh, here we go. Reuters.
As with overall economic activity, the pace of
That's
improvement
better.
in the labor market has slowed. Over the 3 months ending in January, employment rose at an average monthly rate of only 29,000. Continued progress in many industries has been tempered by significant losses in industries such as leisure and hospitality, where the resurgence in the virus and
I'm having to crank this guy up like crazy. I'm sorry. I have to lower myself because otherwise I'm gonna be screaming.
elevated at 6.3% in January, and participation in the labor market is notably below pre-pandemic levels. Although there has been much progress in the labor market since the spring, millions of Americans remain out of work. As discussed in the February Monetary Policy Report, the economic downturn has not fallen equally on all Americans, and those least able to shoulder the burden have been hardest hit. In particular, the high level of joblessness has been especially severe for lower wage workers and for African Americans, Hispanics, and other minority groups. The economic dislocation has upended many lives and created great uncertainty about the future. The pandemic has also left a significant imprint on inflation. Following large declines in the spring, consumer prices partially rebounded over the rest of last year. However, for some of the sectors that have been most adversely affected by the pandemic, prices remain particularly soft. Overall, on a 12-month basis, inflation remains below our 2% longer run objective. While we should not underestimate the challenges we currently face, developments point to an improved outlook for later this year. In particular, ongoing progress in vaccinations should help speed the return.
It's like the same thing he says every time. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not trying to be mean, but
To observe social distancing measures and wear masks. I'll turn now to monetary policy. In the second half of last year, the Federal Open Market Committee completed our first ever public review of our monetary policy strategy, tools, and communication practices. We undertook this review because the U.S. economy has changed in ways that matter for monetary policy. The review's purpose was to identify improvements to our policy framework that could enhance our ability to achieve our maximum employment and price stability objectives. The review involved extensive outreach to a broad range of people and groups through a series of Fed Listens events. As described in the monetary policy,
AMC up again, nice.
The committee unanimously adopted its revised statement on longer run goals and monetary policy strategy. Our revised statement shares many features with its predecessor. For example, we have not changed our 2% longer run inflation goal. However, we did make some key changes. Regarding our employment goal, we emphasize that maximum employment is a broad and inclusive goal. This change reflects our appreciation for the benefits of a strong labor market.
That's big, by the way. When they say it's broad and inclusive, they basically mean they're not going to move rates up until people like in the bottom thresholds under $40,000 in income, blacks, Hispanics, women, people who are really suffering until they get to full employment.
This change means that we will not tighten monetary policy solely in response to a strong labor market.
Right.
Regarding our price stability goal, we state that we will seek to achieve inflation that averages 2% over time. This means that following periods when inflation has been running below 2%, appropriate monetary policy will likely aim to achieve inflation moderately above 2% for some time. With this change, we aim to keep longer run inflation expectations well anchored at our 2% goal. Well anchored inflation expectations enhance our ability to meet both our employment and inflation goals, particularly in the current low interest rate environment in which our main policy tool is likely to be more frequently constrained by the lower bound. We have implemented our new framework by forcefully deploying our policy tools. As noted in our January policy statement, we expect that it will be appropriate to maintain the current accommodative target range of the federal funds rate until labor market conditions have reached levels consistent with the committee's.
As he's talking, the market is actually moving up a little bit.
And is on track to moderately exceed 2% for some time. In addition, we will continue to increase our holdings of Treasury securities and agency mortgage-backed securities, at least at their current pace, until substantial further progress has been made toward our goals. These purchases and the associated increase in the Federal Reserve's balance sheet have materially eased financial conditions and are providing substantial support.
I have to say, I was close with that line. That's not bad. And we totally guessed that line when it was like over here or something like that too. It's not bad.
We will continue to clearly communicate our assessment of progress toward our goals well in advance of any change in the pace of purchases. Since the onset of the pandemic, the Federal Reserve has been taking actions to support more directly the flow of credit in the economy, deploying our emergency lending powers to an unprecedented extent, enabled in large part by financial backing and support from Congress and the Treasury. Although the CARES Act facilities are no longer open to new activity, our other facilities remain in place. Finally, we understand that our actions affect households, businesses, and communities across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We're committed to using our full range of tools to support the economy and to help ensure that the recovery from this difficult period will be as robust as possible. Thank you. I will look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Chairman Powell.
Never heard that speech before.
5 minutes for questions. During our committee markup on February 10th, some members of our committee tried to suggest that further fiscal action was not needed because we are on a swift path to recovery. For example, it was noted that the unemployment rate in the United States is currently better than it had been for the first 5 years of the Obama administration. On that same day, you gave a speech that warned against.
Well, we'll come back in to see what he says or what questions they get in just a moment. Just looking here, what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to pull up the All News Hub in the Bloomberg terminal, because when we do that, we can sometimes get some good synopsis of what Wall Street is looking at from this testimony. So we'll get a lot of updates in here directly from what's going on in this hearing. But we'll listen in a little more too.
Right now than it was in 2014, several years into the recovery from the Great Recession?
I'm reluctant to make that comparison without thinking about it further. I will just, though, echo that we have 10 million fewer people working on payroll jobs than we had just 1 year ago today, and that the unemployment rate, the reported rate, is 6.3%, that if you include people who were in the labor force and indeed working in February and a couple of other adjustments, you get to almost a 10% unemployment rate. So there's a lot of slack in the labor market and a long way to go to maximum employment.
Thank you. In that same February 10th speech, you mentioned that, and let me quote, fully recognizing the benefits of a strong labor market will take continued support from both near-term policy and longer-run investments, quote unquote. Certainly, it will take a longer-run investments to achieve a true full.
Ask him to define longer run. Let's go.
Wages, and finally closes the racial wealth gap. As Congress considered President Biden's American Rescue Plan, some of my colleagues have said we should, quote, wait and see, quote unquote, before spending more. Chair Powell, does the economy need additional fiscal support from Congress?
He gets asked this every time, and he always says, well, I don't comment.
Longer run investments if we want to eliminate the racial wealth gap.
What I was really saying, Madam Chair, with that was that we've shown that we can, over the course of a long expansion, we can get to low levels of unemployment, and that the benefits to society, including particularly to lower moderate income people, are very substantial. We've shown that we can do that, but it's not really a great strategy to wait until the 8th or 9th year of an expansion to get those benefits. To really improve through the cycle, what I was saying in that set of remarks was that it'll take the private sector and it'll take investments from the public sector in, frankly, in the workforce, education, training, policies that support workforce participation, things like that. That's what I was really getting at there.
Response. And with that, I'm going to yield back my time, and I'm going to call on the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. McHenry, who is the ranking member of the committee. You are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. In fact, I think your workforce speech was your labor market speech was a very important one for all of us to take note.
Let's go back to the sticks here for a moment here while we wait for Jerome to keep responding to questions here. So Churchill down about $32 right now. Square, slight recovery from that like 9% that we had there. Redfin's a little bit on sale today. Not as low as it was yesterday when we added a little bit to it. But you even got, again, you've got API. API is just rubber banding to 72. Does not want to get off 72. Palantir stuck in that 26 range. We've got, let's see where Tesla's moving today. Workhorse down. Tesla down, or I'm sorry, it's up 1.8%. But look at this. It actually went down there for a moment to 694. Very incredible, just this price action, the way this market is moving today. Very, unpredictable. With the exception of AMC. AMC again running up. AMC now at $8. Yesterday, AMC also went up. We closed at somewhere around 770. And the day before, we had AMC kind of start running up as well. AMC's just been on like a 3 or 4 day run. I mean, let's see here. Sometimes this is so much of an easier chart to look at. Let's just look at the 1 month here. Oh, yeah. And it's just like kind of flat. Last few days, kind of slowly trickling up a little bit here. 5 days. Yeah, there we go. The 5 day really shows it. This movement over on AMC, 36%. Not bad. Let's go listen to Jerome a little more.
It is what it sounds like. We would like to see incoming actual data that show us moving closer to our goals, both for inflation and for employment. And that's what it'll take. And I agree there's an element of judgment in that, but we will be communicating as clearly as possible and as far in advance as possible how we perceive the path of progress toward those goals.
Okay, consistent with your mandate, consistent with the mandate.
Very much so.
So what does the labor market look like when the Fed has achieved this goal? What does the labor market look like?
So I think it's easier to say with liftoff. We've been very specific with liftoff. We said in liftoff we'd need to see labor market conditions that are consistent with maximum employment, inflation at 2%, and inflation expected to move moderately above 2% for some time. Those are the conditions for liftoff, and they're quite specific. We haven't tried to be that specific about the pace of asset purchases, and we've just said substantial further progress is what we said.
Okay. So Chair Powell, yesterday you also spoke about the digital dollar being a high priority for the Fed. I think this is a national security issue, an economic security issue for sure.
This should be interesting.
Committed to transparency as you look into the digital dollar. I think that's important. I think that's very important for our system of government. I think it's a very important thing for an open society. But let's get into a few specifics on that if we can. What can the public expect in terms of learning the details of this project going forward? And are some more details, are you able to share with us today what we can expect from the Fed in this year, over the course of this year with the digital dollar project?
Yeah, so this is going to be an important year, and this is going to be the year in which we engage with the public pretty actively, including some public events that we're working on, which I'm not going to announce today, but there are things that we're working on.
Like a fair where they're going to give us like stickers?
The decisions we've made, what do you guys think? It's going to be, these are the trade-offs. They're both policy questions and there are technical questions that interrelate between those two. And they're very challenging questions. And so we're going to want to have a public dialogue about that with all of the interested constituencies. And that is the idea of what we're doing. In the meantime, we're working on the technical challenges and also collaborating with.
It is interesting that they're talk about a digital dollar and essentially like think about like tokenizing the US dollar. Like, oh, instead of having $1, you have this one token that represents a dollar. They're working on that. This is kind of interesting to see how the Fed will bring that out. Even Chase, like even some of the big banks are talking about this too. Chase is coming up with a JP Morgan coin and things like that. It's fascinating. What's not fascinating is how funky this market is.
Way to kill private sector innovation and in our banking system. Implementing modern monetary policy, modern monetary theory, for example, vis-a-vis Fed accounts. What do you say to folks hoping to exploit? the
Wow,
digital
this
dollar
is like
project in that
a pattern from yesterday. The V shape again.
One thing we need to be very mindful about is that we have a functioning financial system and a banking system and capital markets which intermediate between savers and borrowers, and they're the best markets and I would say the strongest banks in the world. We need to be careful with our design of the digital dollar that we don't create something that will undermine that very healthy market-based function. That's one thing,
Okay.
for sure.
Now, final question here. You mentioned the labor market. We talked about the labor markets. As far as the fiscal side of the house, what are the things that we should be doing? What are the biggest challenges to getting people back to work?
Well, the single biggest, as you well know, unemployment and low activity is concentrated in that reasonably broad sector of the economy, in the service sector, where people gather closely together. Travel and entertainment, leisure, that whole hotels, those sorts of things. The single most important policy to getting those sectors reopened and getting people back to work, of course, is bringing the pandemic to a decisive end as soon as possible. And we're on the path to that, but we haven't done it yet. So I think it's important that we do quite decisively this.
Thank you, Chair Powell.
While I was talking there, I'm going to interrupt and just mention, look at Switchback Electric. It is at the lowest point it has been in since right around the run-up time. But otherwise, it's just a nothing since that post-election run-up, that 3-week run-up, and now everything's just kind of losing steam in the charging industry. Let's go back to Powell.
Your opening statement. It is clear that the pandemic has had an outside impact on women, minorities, and younger workers. How will the changes in the FOMC's monetary policy framework benefit workers in these groups?
So what we learned in the course of the last expansion was that we could have an unemployment at historically low levels without seeing troubling inflation arise. So we took that on board in creating our new framework. And as I mentioned in my remarks, that means that we won't tighten monetary policy just because of a strong labor market. We want to see either inflation moving up in a troubling way or other risks to the achievement of our goals. And that puts us in a place where we can have low levels of unemployment again. And when we get to those low levels, we see that they do benefit low and moderate income communities and women and minorities more than others who tend to benefit earlier in the expansion. So that plus what we said about maximum employment being a broad and inclusive goal, I think
CCIV is about to hit its low for the day again.
Chairman Powell, in May 2020, the OCC finalized a rule substantially revising the Community Reinvestment Act, which the Fed and the FDIC did not sign onto. In September 2020, the Fed proposed its own update to the CRA. With the change in the administration, do you expect the Fed to re-engage with the OCC and the FDIC on CRA rulemaking? And do you think there is an opportunity for a harmonized rule amongst all three agencies?
I think there is an opportunity for a harmonized rule among the three agencies. And we are engaged, have been engaged, and continue to be engaged with the FDIC and the OCC, and we're working on that.
Okay, while they talk about the FDIC, let's take a notice here, just recovery stocks again moving up here, just airlines. Obviously, AMC is benefiting from this move towards recovery. Zom coming back, very good food company actually coming back. They had a big sell-off in the last probably 3 days. Finally heading back to $5. Tilray, Koss, Cinemark, Carnival. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's just recovery here. Airbnb moving up. See how Airbnb has performed just over the last since IPO. Let's see here. Just basically straight up. I mean, look at that. 121 to basically 200 now. Incredible recovery play there.
Governor Brainerd gave a speech on the role of financial institutions in tackling the climate challenge. In her speech, she stated, and I quote, "Climate change is already imposing substantial economic costs on the economy. and is projected to have a profound effect on the economy at home and abroad. Would you agree with her statement, and can you give some examples of how you see that to be true?
Well, I think climate change is a very important issue, and if you'll allow me, I will start by saying that the nation's policy on climate change really needs to be set in the first instance by you, elected representatives in the House and Senate, and then by the administration through the agencies that Congress has created. Our role is really that of assuring that we are using our powers to carry out our mandate in supervising financial institutions to make sure that they're resilient to all risks, including that of climate change. That's what we're doing.
Look at that V. This is literally like yesterday, creating that V at Square right now. It's crazy. It's literally what we saw yesterday. It's so weird. Not as extreme, but Square is showing that V pattern.
And economic risks posed by climate change.
Yes, so we're doing right now a great deal of outreach and research and consultation. And by the way, the larger and medium-sized banks are doing the same thing. It is really time to have this, to do this work and to try to understand. Climate change is a longer run issue to deal with, and you will see that the financial institutions themselves are very focused on understanding how it will over time affect their business model. We're looking at the same thing from the standpoint of a regulator and supervisor. So research and basic work to lay out a framework, which will take some time, but it is time for us to do that.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. The gentlewoman from Missouri, Mrs. Wagner, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Chairman Powell. It's good to see you again. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all that you and the Fed have done during this unprecedented pandemic. Under the Fed's average inflation targeting, you are looking for inflation to be, and I quote, moderately above 2% for some time to make up for undershooting inflation in the past. What does moderately above 2% for some time mean specifically?
Yeah, let's not stop trading at AMC. They're going to ask him, what is moderate? What does the target of 2% mean? Let's see here.
Quite some time now, have been forecasting inflation, in fact, of 2% or less.
So on the first part, what does moderately mean? We don't have a formula, and we're not going to have a formula. The sense of it, though, is that we want inflation to average 2% over time. And the reason we want that is that we want inflation expectations to be anchored right at 2% and not somewhat below 2%, which is arguably the case now. That's really how we're looking at it. In terms of can we get there, I'm confident that we can and that we will, and we are committed to using our tools to achieving that. The 3-year time frame is actually an arbitrary 3-year time frame chosen by us, and we're just being honest about the challenge. We live in a time where there are significant disinflationary pressures around the world, and we're essentially all major advanced economy central banks have struggled against 2%. We believe we can do it. Believe we will do it. It may take more than 3 years, but we'll update that every quarter. We update that assessment, and we'll see how that goes.
Thank you, Chairman Powell. I know you were asked a number of times by my colleagues in the Senate yesterday whether the Fed intends to extend the exclusion of low-risk assets such as treasuries and reserve balances from the supplementary leverage ratio. I strongly supported the agency's decision nearly a year ago to make this exclusion in recognition, I think, of the fact that banks were receiving just an unprecedented amount of new deposits, largely as a result of the Fed's actions that continue to put pressure on leverage ratios. You indicated, sir, yesterday that the Fed is still considering whether or not to provide an extension. Do you agree that the exclusion proved to be an important tool to preserve liquidity in the Treasury market?
Yes, I do agree to that. But I mean, we're just looking at this. I don't really have anything for you on that decision. That I didn't have anything yesterday, as you pointed out. So we're looking at that, and we know when the deadline is, and we're working on that.
Okay, I found another way to boost the volume there a little bit. So their feed is so terribly low. But in the meantime, look at QuantumScape here. QuantumScape had a nice little breakout run here. A little bit of consolidation happening now, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's look at CCAV, and we'll keep bumping in to see what Jerome Powell's saying. It looks like finally we're maybe going to break out of this range that's drawn here. So a little bit of a bizarre situation. CCAV selling off again today. But let's continue to listen to Jerome while we look at this.
Market. I mean, making sure that the SLR is extended, I think, is very, very important as we continue this recovery. And as I said, as further stimulus actions are considered and put into law. March 31 is nearly upon us, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, it is.
Oh, come on. Surely you can talk to us a little bit more about how important that was over the past year in terms of our banking industry and to keep liquidity in the market, given the large number of deposits that were extended to our banking community.
I'm just going to say that we're having discussions on it right now and internally here, and I really don't want to go any further than that. I'm sorry, but
Jerome's got to dodge questions. So let's see what's going on in the rest of the world here really quick. We've got, let's see, Pakistan extends line of credit. Biden rushes to address global computer chip shortage with executive order. Oh, take a look at that for a second here. So Biden has an executive order, huh? Let's see what Biden can do about this. President Joe Biden will sign an executive order Wednesday aimed at addressing the global semiconductor chip shortage that has forced U.S. automakers and other manufacturers to cut production and alarmed the White House and members of Congress. Okay. Scarcity exacerbated by the pandemic and Bitcoin mining. Can't forget Bitcoin mining. Administration officials will said Biden's executive order, to be signed at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Wednesday, will launch an immediate 100-day review of the supply chain or supply chains for 4 critical products: semiconductor chips, large capacity batteries for electric trucks, rare earth minerals, and pharmaceuticals. Okay, I mean, this means nothing. All right, guys. We have a shortage. We have a crisis. Let's do a 3-month and 10-day review. Whatever. Maybe I don't get politics.
And I would hope that you would be looking at 2.25% rather than 2% as your target. I also commend you for the quantitative easing. It has allowed you to remit to the federal government $50 to $100 billion in each of the last several years. And so those who criticize your big balance sheet have been unwilling to identify which taxes they would raise in order to make up for that lost revenue. Also, your quantitative easing, big balance sheet approach is the only tool you have to influence long-term interest rates, which I think are much more important to our economy, since you have to borrow long-term to build a factory or build a business. And I prefer monetary policy to an expansionary fiscal policy, because all of your tools reduce the federal deficit, and all of our tools increase the long-term federal debt. Want to focus your attention on LIBOR. It now appears as if the LIBOR index will continue to be published till June of 2023. It's almost disappointing to get.
Sorry, they're being a little boring right now. See, look at GameStop run though. GameStop and AMC are doing very well today. GameStop running up about 10% today. I mean, this is one that honestly, like if you were trading, GameStop seems to have good, decent volume. Let's see, we got a little bit of a fall coming here. Gets GameStop. Then we've got Upwork. Upwork's only up 8% right now. This did so well in earnings. If Upwork goes flat today, I'll buy this. So right now we've got to see if Upwork's going to break down. And if it does, if this breaks down, it could just keep running down. We'll see what happens. 55, 65. It's a little bit of a crooked line, but that's about when the low was. So if it breaks its previous low on Upwork, it might just give up all of its gains for today, which is crazy. It's such a good move yesterday. Or it's a stock that I own. It's not really a move that I made. But Overstock is down 11%. It's basically doing the opposite of a GME. It's going to earthing. Somebody else said that earlier. It was great. Redfin does report earnings today, so we'll want to pay attention to that. Amazon, Apple down 1%. Yeah, just bizarre. Apple at 2 or Tesla up 2% though. Let's continue to listen to Jerome here.
Talked about this earlier this month, where usually it's somebody trying to buy a home, the first time ever, when they'll remit $10, $20, $30, $50,000 for the down payment. It's their life savings, and they're tricked into wiring the money to the wrong account number, and they lose it forever.
Yeah.
Now you're developing the new FedNow system, and your bureaucrats have told us that they don't want to engineer that system to avoid this tragedy that occurred, as I said, affecting $150 million just last year. That they don't want to do the really simple thing of just saying that when you remit money, you identify not only the account number you're sending it to, but the name of the person you're sending it to. And I know your bureaucrats will tell you they don't want to do it. I wonder whether you'll go back to your agency and get personally involved and push them to avoid this tragedy. I don't think your successor should have to, face people at the next Fed Listen session, maybe 10 years from now, who have lost their homes as a result of this. Can you commit to getting personally involved and having a system that will hopefully protect homeowners or home buyers?
So I think, as you know, we've looked carefully at this and concluded that payee matching is not the best way to do it, and there are just problems in the U.S. system, but we have other ways to do it well. I'll be happy to go back and revisit that though.
If there's another way, let me know what it is, because your staff just tells me they don't want to.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Oklahoma.
Yeah, so what they're talking about there is wire fraud. And what usually happens is you're like in escrow to buy a house and people hack you, or they just send you an email knowing that you're in escrow to buy a house. And they're like, hey, there's been a change. We need this money wired to us within the next 2 hours. Otherwise, your house purchase is going to get delayed. It's really important that you send this money within the next 2 hours, and you got to send it to this address or whatever. And they're like, I'm from Fidelity, and they basically pretend to be Fidelity, and they send you this wire info so that your money's like getting routed through a bank in Nigeria or something, and all of a sudden your wire's gone. It's a real problem. It happens all the time. You got to always verbally call the company and verify the wire info. It's nuts. Crazy market we're in. But lots of scams. I mean, you see it in the comments too. All the Bitcoin scams. YouTube's doing nothing about that. Look at Workhorse. Workhorse accelerating losses, now down 13%. I think we opened down about 9%, although it does look like we had a little bit more of a fall there during the day. Let's see. We've got Silver Spike, Square down 7.5. Messy. Really, I mean, the ones that are like decent for trading right now feel like they're AMC and GameStop. So we've got a little bit of that consolidation here. It'd be interesting to see if this ends up running up again. Probably. Just with the amount of excitement and momentum we have on AMC. So that might be a trade potential here. GameStop actually is not as clearly defined here as AMC. Look at this. Pulling up right off the V here. Let's go listen to Jerome a little more.
They were very important because they did absorb that huge flow of deposits, and they made all of those loans as companies pulled down their lines of credit. Now, those were paid back early on, but at the very beginning, when it mattered a lot, they were a source of strength. So I think all of that is right. We've always got to continue to be vigilant on those things, but a first draft of history is that the banks are strong. And I would say the same for small and medium-sized banks as well, have generally held up well they're going.
All right, talking about strength of banks here. Disney, by the way, breaking over 200 again. They smashed earnings. I added a little bit to my Disney holdings, and I really like Disney. It's actually, I think it's really the only recovery play that I have that I'm very excited about. Great company. Let's see. Churchill Capital has recovered a bit. Look at this. We actually had a recovery at CCIV. Yeah, we kind of, no, we're still range bound here. Still kind of between our bounds here, our lines. Situation is now very, let's see here. Let's listen in. What does this say here about Powell? Powell. Why? Let me just click that. Stop. I want to click. No. Why is it so hard? This is what I want to see. There we go. We'll go back to Powell. I'll fix this.
To ensure that no one is left out of the economic recovery.
There we go.
I think those are it's a serious problem to address. We tend to address it through our community affairs and efforts to make sure that fair lending policies and things like that. I also think that there's more that Congress can do, I'm sure, to assure that people have education around financial matters. And the other piece of it is there are people at the lower end of the income spectrum who are living hand to mouth. We need a strong recovery. We need continued support for monetary policy, and we'll be providing that as well.
One last question, Chairman, and it impacts the ability of every Main Street to function. According to FDA, the United States administered more than 63 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Chairman Powell, can you expand on how important to the economic recovery or how dependent the recovery is on ramping up that manufacturing and distribution?
Yes, this is
obviously we know COVID is, solving COVID is really important. I want to say really quick, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee really quick. I'm interested in like either making a trade today, buying something. I'm going to be looking at my portfolio, probably in about 30 minutes or so to an hour, right before the course member live stream, which if you haven't looked into that yet, check out the link down below for the Stocks and Psychology and Money group, where we go live every day the market's open for mostly Q&A and helping you with your questions and what else is going on in the market. But it feels so funky, this market. It's kind of rough to say like, oh, for sure, let's go trade this, just because the market is so him-hawy. And it's like, oh, we get a run and it's gone. It's kind of what it feels like right now. Bitcoin at 49.5. See how it goes. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee really quick. So we'll listen to Jerome in the meantime.
Second half of the year for the economy.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Texas, Mr. Green, who is also the chair of the subcommittee on oversight and investigations, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and I thank the witness for appearing. I'm always honored to have him here before the committee. My question has to do with the State Small Business Credit Initiative. This is an initiative that was started under a Republican administration. It has served us exceedingly well, and the chairwoman, with her insight and foresight, has expanded this program to make sure that it covers women and people of color to a greater extent. We're talking about having this initiative be funded with $10 billion, and this is in the COVID package. And this $10 billion can drive up to $100 billion of private sector investments in these small businesses. States would be required to submit a plan, as well as other jurisdictions, on how expeditiously these funds can be delivered to help small businesses respond to and recover from the pandemic. A plan to encourage participation of MDIs, minority depository institutions, as well as CDFIs, community development financial institutions, would also be a part of this. Mr. Chairman, my question to you is simply this: how important is it that small businesses receive these capital investments? They sometimes find it exceedingly difficult to acquire funds of this type, the type that we have in this package. How important is it that these funds during this pandemic get to these small businesses?
Well, Small businesses are under a lot of pressure in this at the current time, more so than many of the larger businesses that had resources to get through this. I would say MDIs and CDFIs are very important channels for reaching them.
Okay, forgive me, but that was really boring. Like, we're not really getting broad info here, and I'm all for small businesses money going to small businesses, but we're not getting any kind of market moving info here from Jerome. I'm just going to pull away from Jerome for a moment. Look, I like listening to Jerome, but some of the questions aren't telling us about the broader market. The niche questions, they're important, but they're not for us. Louis DeJoy over at the post office acknowledges delays and the urgent need for change. We got the Bloomberg terminal here. Let's just quickly see the latest stuff that's flying in. Oh, there we go. And then let's go to the sticks here and see what else we actually have going on. Let's see. Scanners COVID vaccine passports could allow summer sports eventually at full capacity. A lot of news coming in here. Crude oil imports hit 29-year low because of the storm. Gas prices, U.S. inflation skid continues. Skid? Isn't skid like down? U.S. inflation. Gas prices aside, U.S. inflation skid continues. The increase in January's consumer price indexes, 0.3%, was predominantly due to a rebound in gas prices, as core inflation remained flat for the second month. This is actually interesting. This is a good piece right here. The decelerate, this I want to read a little bit more. Okay, let's pull this open a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is nice. So this is, let's see what we got here. Where is it? High frequency dashboard, gas prices, inflation. Yeah, okay, here we go. As core inflation remained flat for the second consecutive month, the deceleration in service sector inflation is particularly pronounced and noteworthy, as it now stands at the slowest pace in over a decade. See, this is what confuses me too. Like, there's so much fear, and that's what's kind of bizarre about the market. There's so much fear for basically inflation coming that really, if inflation doesn't come, trades are going to change, I think, big time. Personally, I think if inflation doesn't come, Bitcoin could run on the hope of inflation coming, as people are like, oh, it's inflation coming. Could run a lot. I mean, it could go over 100K, right? But then I wonder if it'll sell off sharply if that inflation doesn't show up. Lack of economic conditions, and who knows, if it could come up when we're fully open again. Maybe then those service prices go up again too. But I don't know. We'll see. But this is interesting to see that core inflation is flat. I mean, that's really the long run expectation. Is like the Fed says, we're going to see a lot of disinflation, really reducing of prices over time. Fed Powell clearly backs Democrats' large. Oh, wow. I have not heard him clearly say this before. Oh, here somebody says this. Yeah, okay, so somebody's making the conclusion. It's clear Fed Powell supports large-scale fiscal stimulus. Right. We've never actually heard him say that bluntly, like, yes, pass the stimulus plan. But, we know he's for rolling the money printer. I mean, it's Jerome after all. All right. Let's go back to the sticks here for a moment. We'll keep an eye on Jerome, see if there's anything else being said there. But for right now, let's take another look at the markets here. So we've got Workhorse down 12%, Churchill suffering today, Square down also about 7%, not as bad as it was earlier. Planet's down 4%, Peloton's down 3%. Mixed painful market here. Redfin's going to be reporting later. That'll be big news. In my opinion, it'll be big news. I'm really excited about Redfin. We'll see how they do. I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to buy a bunch beforehand, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's go to. I want to see. Here's a stock or a ticker symbol that folks are. Oh yeah. Big C. I feel like we touched on this yesterday, and Big C is running today. We touched on this briefly yesterday. Now it's up 9% today. I don't know that. I still haven't really wrapped my head around this one, but Big C is running today. Let's see what news is making big. C run today? Let's get a little bit of a better understanding of this as well. So security description. So Big C operates a software company, SaaS platform for e-commerce. Wasn't this for insurance? Let's see. Big C. Big Commerce Holdings. Austin, Texas. Big Commerce. Big Commerce stock. Big Commerce stock. Shopify rival. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Barron's is great. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me sign in really quick. I do want to see the Barron's article on this. Well, I'll comment on this obviously here. This should be. Oh, cool. It's basically instantly signed in. That's rare. Okay, here we go. Shares of Big Commerce slightly higher in trading late Monday as the Austin, Texas e-commerce software company posts better than expected fourth quarter results. Company had originally expected to post results last week, but delayed the report because of the weather. Helps merchants create online retail presence. Yeah, that is kind of like Square and Shopify. Fourth quarter revenue up 39% from a year ago. Consensus estimates at 38.6 mil came in at 43. That's a good 10% more? A little more than 10%. 10 and a bit percent more. It's good. It's like 12% more. Company lost 12 cents a share, better than the forecast of 14 cents a share. So running because of Shopify enthusiasm. So how do I go to Big Commerce? Like if I wanted to make a website, it's just bigcommerce.com. Okay, well, there you go. E-commerce for a new era. Like I wonder just what kind of unique selling proposition they might have relative to multi-channel, and it's everything's have to be multi-channel right now. Oh, interesting. But they're not talking about like omni-channel where you're talking about online and biz. They're actually talking about connecting like eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram. Be interesting to look into. But yeah, I mean, let's see what multiple these guys are selling at relative to like a Square and a Shopify. So let's see, financial analysis. Let's just see what they've got in terms of revenue here. So projection for 2022 is a revenue of 232 mil, which if we just do a quick and dirty estimate here, that's about 20 times to get to market cap. So you're buying at about 20 times revenue. Let's do it with Walmart. Oh, interesting. Fisker is up on news that Foxconn is going to make their EVs. No way. We'll look at that in a sec. Okay, so Big Commerce about 20 times earnings, and we're just doing a quick and dirty fundamental here. And let's do quick and dirty on Shop just to compare. We'll compare the three. Financial analysis. Is that the Fox convention? So here, Square is selling for a market cap of a lot more. Is this 30 times? Yeah, this is about 30 times. This is about 30 times 2022 revenue at Shopify. And then Square, which is obviously a little bit more of a diverse company, but let's look at it anyway. See how much revenue, or what the revenue multiple is from 22. 14 to here. Oh, see, Square is cheaper. Just on that one metric. So maybe that might not be the best comparison. But that's as the market cap here at the end of the year, which is what we've been comparing to. We really should be comparing to the market cap right now. Yeah, okay. No, maybe that quick and dirty is not too useful here. Big C. Let's go back to that really quick. And then I do want to see what's going on with this Foxconn thing. So if we go back here, financial analysis. Is Tesla running? We'll look at the sticks in a sec. Yeah, that's their market cap at the end of the year. I don't know. When do they think they'll go profitable? Okay, here we go. Profitable in 2023. Okay. I'll keep an eye on this one. I'll write this one down too. I got to do some more analysis today. I've got obviously my favorite list here. Big C. See if we could go deeper into that one. Okay, so somebody says Tesla's running, and then we want to look and see what's going on with Foxconn. So Riot, Marathon recovering here. There we go. Marathon had a nice little breakout, so that's good. We've got Riot also running a bit. Yeah, yep, good. Okay, so we're recovering in the day here. With the exception of, look at Upwork. Oh, wow. It literally, what did I say? If it breaks the previous low, this thing's going to go lower and potentially give up all of its gains. And that's on the direction it's going. Upwork's just getting punished here. Oh, wow. Tesla's running. No freaking way. Somebody asked me yesterday. I got to look this up because it's too funny. Gun. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here it is. Oh, no. Oh, I do want to show this, but I don't know what just happened. Oh, there it is. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. Hold on. I want to show this. Okay, here we go. Okay. So let me quickly airdrop this over to the laptop, and I can show you this about what my thoughts were on Tesla yesterday. So MacBook Pro. There we go. Oh, wow. Look at that run on Tesla. It's at 725, 726 now. Why is the airdrop canceled? Like, I didn't cancel it. Why would I do that? Okay, let's try again. Just text it to myself. All right. Hold on. Give me one sec. Pull this up here. This has to do with Tesla. And then we'll look at what's going on with Fisker. Why Fisker ran. All right, here we go. All right. All that work for this screenshot. Yesterday, this was at like 710, right? And thoughts that it could go down. Somebody goes, Brandon, if there were a gun to your head, meet Kevin, if there were a gun to your head, how low does Tesla go tomorrow? And I go 725, which is actually up. And it's so weird, but it literally just hit 720. Now it's at 727. That's crazy. That's by the way, the private course member Discord where I'm in there a lot throughout the day. It's kind of fun just to chat about stocks and what the heck's going on. Okay, but otherwise, yeah, I mean, we've got a nice little rally here continuing on AMC. You know, a little bit volatile over here, but I mean, we've got some clearly defined support. So the downside there right now feels a little limited. Especially with this recovery play happening. I don't think we're going to see the crazy runs that we've seen before at AMC, but with an Overstock sell-off here, Overstock declining on the day, CCIV letting the air out today, falling back under the two lines that we drew here. Square recovering. There we go. Square recovering again. That's nice to see. That's good. Finally. GME broke 50. Really? Let's see. GME. There we go. Nice. Yeah. Good little run here again. Even CNBC now has cut away from Jerome Powell. I'm sorry, Jerome. It's not that we don't like you. It's you're getting asked questions that aren't applicable to everyone. Okay, look at the gains here. Gainers. Fisker. Oh, let's look at the news with Fisker. Let's understand the Fisker news a bit. Matterport and Redfin earnings. I didn't know that Redfin's reporting earnings today. I don't think they are. I know Redfin's reporting earnings today. EBIX finally going back up. Good. GameStop Tilray's finally going back up. Great. Zom good. Sundial good. Very good. Simon Property Group going up. It's the entire recovery space. Clever's finally moving up again. Man, $120 for Simon Property Group. Too much. Aerotine International? Is that a Wolf of Wall Street reference? Come on. Like, I'm sorry if it's not, but that sounds like it sounds like somebody's pulling the Wolf of Wall Street move right here. Let's go to that. Aerotine International. Was that? Yeah. You didn't pull that one off on me. Oh man, C3 AI. C3 AI reporting soon. Are they? Let's go to the earnings calendar here. Yeah, close one. Earningswhisper.com/calendar. Let's see what's actually reporting today. Lowe's. Okay, yeah, they must have already reported. Overstock missed. Casper Sleep. Could be an impact on purple there. Let's see. I was surprised Redfin, they don't have that up earlier. That is a long list. Show more. Where's Redfin? They don't even show Redfin on that list. Man, this is a long day of earnings. Is this today? Yeah, earnings calendar for today. Can I go to a more condensed view? There we go. Yeah, I mean, pretty sure Redfin's today, but it's not on their calendar. That's interesting. Redfin earnings. Redfin earnings. Yeah, coming up today. This is pre-market. No, I mean, they usually show both, though. Earnings calendar for Wednesday. Exactly, yeah. Showing confirm releases. Oh, 100 before open. 157. Before. Oh, I have it on before market. You're right. Thank you. You're right. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at what we got here. So we got NVIDIA's reporting today. Teladoc's reporting today. Ooh, let's write down some of these. These are going to be some interesting ones to look at today. So TDoc, NVIDIA, Revolve. That was a very popular one for a period of time. Redfin, Revolve, Apache, Rocky Brands, Encore Capital, Hostess reports today. Which Churchill Down? I feel like Churchill Down is just a way to rub it in that CCIV's down. Public Storage. C3 AI is running. Is C3 AI? Are they reporting today? Write that down. C3 AI. Okay. Marriott Vacations. Wow, I did not know that Marriott Vacations was separate from Marriott on the public. It's maybe a different company then. Vivint Solar. Could be good to look at for Enphase. Vivint Solar. Okay. So anything else? No, we kind of hit it all. Okay. Should be an interesting earnings day. We'll see. So somebody says C3 AI is running. Okay, we're getting a lot of green again right now. The exception of Churchill. Square's going green. We got Fisker. Look at this. It's all the meme stocks are killing it right now. With GameStop. This is very good. I mean, I love this. Tilray, OGI, Zom, Sundial, Cost, Express, GameStop, destroying right now, which is good. I know the easiest way to refer to them is meme, even though we don't like calling them the meme stocks. So then we've got, wow, Kappa went down to $16. I mean, that didn't surprise me. I think once people realized like Kappa wasn't actually invested in by ARK, people were like, bye, Felicia. QuantumScape. It's such an interesting trade, that one. And so is Microvision. I mean, Microvision's just up so strongly from where it has been. It's just such a nice run. I mean, we know it's gone up to like 22, 21, but it's really staying well above that 15 range right now. Tesla, look at Tesla running. Tesla's breaking out. Yeah, look at that. Nice run back on Tesla. 730 now. Okay, and then somebody mentioned C3 AI. Let's look at that one, C3 AI. And I wonder why. Oh, and we got to look at Fisker. So we can look at Fisker and Bloomberg. Yeah, C3 AI. Okay, I mean, it's got some green candlesticks coming here. Looks like it's going from negative to positive. Let's look at Fisker in the term and see if we can find out the latest here. We could also probably just Google it, honestly, but we're going to use this. Fisker. Greed is alive and well all over, I see. Even people I love. Oh, what? No. I don't think so. Fisker hit 21 pre-market, and it will break 23 soon. Bullish. NEO and LI also running. Tesla and CCIV seem to run opposite of one another lately. Not a bad argument. Kind of does feel that way. All right, let's look at Fisker. Fisker news. Coke is unbeatable. Energy Transfer having a nice run. Yeah, I think they got hit hard yesterday. I don't remember that. We'll have to see. Apple supplier. What? Apple supplier Foxconn teams up with Fisker to make electric vehicles. Oh, all these connections to Apple. Huh. Okay. Electric car maker Fisker said it will work with Apple Inc. supplier Foxconn to produce more than 250,000 vehicles a year beginning in late 2023. 23? They got a while to go for everyone. I wonder what all Foxconn manufactures, because we think of them as the Apple manufacturer, but like what else do they do? Let's see. Foxconn. I don't know. Let's just go to a wiki page or something basic here. And in the meantime, let me see what Jerome's talking about.
Both encouraging young minority kids to get interested in economics. I do that. I meet with people every year on that.
All right, we're talking about economics. So Foxconn, what do they produce here? Electronics manufacturing, third largest technology company by revenue in the world. Wow. Okay, products include the Nintendo Switch. Oh, wow. PlayStation, the Xbox, the Wii, the iPhone, iPad, the BlackBerry. They make a lot of stuff, but I don't see cars. Auto. Oh. Analysts said the hard over signals the company's future direction, underscoring the importance of semiconductors together with technologies like AI, robotics, and autonomous driving. Smart. Yeah, getting into the autonomous driving, I think, is huge. Foxconn, together with Tencent and luxury car dealer Harmony New Energy Group, founded Future Mobility, a car startup that aims to sell a fully electric autonomous premium car by 2020. Well, I wonder what they're doing now. 5 years old, this company. Net income, 28 million, so they're not really selling anything. Gosh, it's just like endless electric vehicle companies, huh? Mainland China. Yeah, that is interesting. Look at all these customers they have. But no car companies in here. And yet, now they're taking on Fisker as an automotive manufacturer. Sources have said Apple is targeting 2024 to produce a passenger vehicle. Foxconn aims to provide components or services to 10% of the world's EVs by 2025 to 2027. Wow. Interesting. So that's why Fisker is running today. Yeah. I mean, Fisker has been higher, but good for Fisker. I don't know that I would buy Fisker off that news, though. I mean, that's quite a while. If Foxconn gets into cars, everyone should be worried. So we're gonna defer this. Okay, let's go back to the sticks here. Enphase, wow, Enphase up 2% now. There we go. Okay, now we're getting the rebound in the market. Now the market's coming back to us. Churchill's down 666. The exception of Churchill. We've got all stocks here. Workhorse, Churchill, Square. These guys bleeding a bit. Home Depot and Lowe's bleeding. Peloton. Ooh, excuse me. But otherwise, Fisker up 17%. Kind of flat on the day there. Sundial's trying to make moves here. Sundial's running. They're at 130 this morning. GameStop getting stuck at $50. Yep. But that could continue to run. It's actually had a nice pattern here lately. Microvision, Airbnb, AMC. AMC's stuck. Yeah, really hitting a hard resistance here at 850. United Airlines 7%, Airbnb 7%, eBay 7%, Nordic, Clever, Tesla. Look at that. Running 735. Nice. Gosh, compared to yesterday's bloodbath. What's Gore's doing? Oh, good. Matterport over $20 again, barely $20.03. Ha, crazy market. Recovery stocks are doing well. Yeah, recovery stocks are doing well. Got a video on Plug. You can check that out. Go to just type into YouTube, meetkevin.com/ go to YouTube, type in Meet Kevin Plug Power. You'll see it. How would you play Upwork? Is it a trade, you think? I think the volume is way too low. He reads us. I do. I think the volume is way too low to buy Upwork as a trade. Upwork is a good long play, in my opinion. Let's listen to Powell again for a second. I'd like that the market's going green again here. That could lead to a green tomorrow. Sometimes that green can extend, especially after that big sort of ouchie we had there. And then you know what I'm going to do is we'll listen to Powell for a little bit here, and then I'm going to take maybe 30 minutes and just kind of off the stream. I'm going to think about what's still down from the carnage yesterday. Like, what's still a buy? Like, what's still cheap right now? Even though some things are green, we're going to look at what's still cheap right now after the ouchie yesterday. Yes. In addition to CCIV, I know. So Shift, Palantir. Okay. I'll do some thinking on that. And make sure you have alerts on in Discord. So that way, if I buy anything, you'll get that alert right away in Discord. All right. In the stock group. So, okay, let's listen in
culture, but we're also a heavy manufacturing district. But the third leg of our economic stool throughout Michigan, but especially concentrated in my district, is in that hospitality and tourism area. Housing fully recovered, as you had said. Manufacturing, at least in our area, especially automotive, office furniture, those types of things, mining, others, manufacturing, very, very strong. What we are seeing, though, is a desperation in that hospitality area. And
this hearing is, I'm sorry, I don't know. The hearing's putting me to sleep.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri says I didn't get that. I'm tired. Okay. All right, folks. I'm gonna go look for some deals now. For the next 30, or actually I got 39 minutes before the course live stream. Cool. This Powell thing is a little boring. If you wanted to watch it, obviously it's here available on Reuters. Which give Reuters a subscribe. I like Reuters. Although I have to say, Reuters, we have to bag on them really quick. Reuters, $12 billion. Oh, and make sure to get $250 with BlockFi by signing up by going to metkevin.com/BF, or get 2 free stocks with Webull when you sign up and deposit $100. CCIV, Lucid. I have to give them hate for this. Where was it? No, it was like, here we go. So look at this. And I know it was a May. Oh no, this is Inside EVs. Oh, where's the Reuters article? I can't find it right now. Reuters 12 billion, CCIV, Lucid, valuation. Did they get rid of it? It'd be funny if they got rid of it. 7 days. No, that's Inside. Anyway, Reuters was one of the ones. I posted this on a YouTube video. Reuters was one of those that was like, oh, it's gonna be $12 billion. It's gonna be $12 billion, and it ends up, with a pro forma valuation of 24 bill. Just pulled a rug out from CCIV. And look, CCIV is still great. It's a hold for me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm diamond handing this. I'm not paper handing this one. But I also never went into CCIV as a trade. So we'll keep an eye on this. All right, cool. Thanks for being here, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good morning.